come out here to Bursa Kebab in Yalikavak, and I'm going to check out the food and see if it's any good inside. Come on, let's go and have a look. I'm going to order the main thing, which is Bursa Kebab. Bursa Kebab there, 31.90. Is it any good?
Yeah, it's very nice.
Is it as good as other restaurants or better?
No, it's just as good. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10, okay.
Yeah. The bread is lovely and warm too. Everything's great.
It comes in a nice little box as well, doesn't it, the bread?
It's really nice.
It's quite nice, this restaurant. The couches are nice and comfortable to sit on as well. Table's not rocking, table is solid. It's good. It's nice here, really. Let's tell you a little thing. Little bit. Your tear. Son. Just you could do. So your tear is enough. So that's butter. They put butter on it. Terrier's butter. And yeah, it looks quite nice. It's alright.
Good.
It's alright. Sauce on the bread at all. There's no sauce on the bread at all. Should be more sauce. Look, it's just normal bread, you know. You go to other restaurants, they put loads of sauce on it, and the bread tastes nicer than just plain bread. It tastes like plain bread. Not really into that. When you go up to this side, you can see the bread's a bit more soggy. How it should be. On this side, it was kind of dry. There was that kind of juice on that side. I don't really like the bread, so I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm not going to eat any more of this. That's it, done. I would say there's too much bread and not enough meat. And not enough sauce as well. So the price is $51.60, and you get 2 sweets there that my mum's desperate to take at the moment. And I gave her a 3 lira tip. There's no tissues on the table, and my tissue blew away in the wind. As you can see, the other table, no tissues anywhere on the tables. They give big bottles of water, which is half a litre, and the price is $1.95 each. As you can see, 2 is $3.90 there. I was a bit surprised with this restaurant because there was no starter food when we came there. Normally when you go to a Turkish restaurant, they give you starter food. So for example, they'll give you lettuce, they'll give you parsley, they'll give you bread, lemons, and sometimes mercimek kefte, and so it's something to nibble on while your food's coming out. But in this place, there was no starter food. And also, when I looked at the menu, I didn't see many things that I really liked. So I asked him if he has beyti sama, and he said, no, we don't have beyti sama. Then so I said to him, do you have Adana iskender kebab? And he says, no, we don't have Adana iskender, but we have Bursa iskender kebab. And Bursa iskender kebab is what they're known for. That's the thing on the front of the page of the menu. And so I thought, okay, I'll get what these people are known for making. They're known for making Bursa iskender kebab. So I thought, okay, I'll get that. And so I ordered it. And when it came out, it looked quite big because there was donut all over it, but I didn't realise there was loads of bread underneath. So it's just strips of donut on it, and underneath was full of bread. And it just didn't taste nice because there wasn't enough meat and there wasn't enough sauce on it either. And then so when I got to the bread, some of the bread was just dry and it tasted a bit stale. I don't know if the bread was stale, but it just didn't taste nice. It didn't taste right. And normally when you get in a iskender kebab, like the sauce is all covered on the plate and the bread soaks up into the sauce, and the sauce is normally really nice. But in this one, the sauce tasted, I don't know, it just didn't taste nice. Maybe they're lacking herbs that other restaurants used or something like that, I don't know. There was something lacking on the sauce as well. So the doner tasted okay, but I mean, it was just all right. You know, it wasn't anything special. So with no salad and with the food not being that tasty and not being enough of it as well, I think I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. And that's a generous 4, really, because I'm thinking that maybe I should give it a 3 because I didn't really like it that much. But I'm going to be generous. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Below average, but still generous. For the service, I think it was fairly okay. They greeted us when we walked in. They also offered me an English menu so I could understand what the different foods were. They were friendly to us. And they also, because I left a lot of food, I left a lot of bread over on my plate because I didn't like the taste of it. So I thought, okay, my mum's got 2 dogs, I can give this to the dogs. So I said to them, have you got a container to take this bread away and I can give it to the dogs? And they said, okay then. And they got a container for me in a nice plastic bag as well, for me to take the bread away and give it to my dog, or my mum's dogs. And so yeah, that was quite good. But I'm used to being offered tea after I've eaten food in a Turkish restaurant, and they didn't offer me any tea at all. So I was a bit surprised about that. But I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 for service. For the restaurant necessities, I think it was fairly good, well, very good actually. And they had a place to park your car outside. There was a children's play area. The tables were nice, they weren't rocking. The seats were nice and comfortable. The toilets were clean. It's a very nice restaurant. It's very clean and new. Everything was new in there because it's a new restaurant. So it's a very nice restaurant, but it was let down by having no tissues on the table. So what it was is they gave me a tissue and they put a fork or a knife on it, or maybe they didn't do that, I'm not sure. But when I went to the toilet, I came back, my mum said my tissue had blown away. And I couldn't get another tissue because there was no tissues on the tables. So I was a bit surprised about that. Normally when you go to restaurants, they normally have loads of tissues on the tables and you can use as many as you need. But I don't know, maybe people are nicking them or something from there. I don't know why they didn't have tissues on the table, because most restaurants do that. So I'm going to give the restaurant 8 out of 10 for restaurant necessities. Now for the cost, I think they kind of try and use a trick to get you to buy extra. For example, they have, after I saw the video that I recorded, I noticed on the menu there was 3 prices for Bursa Kebab. One was just 1 portion, the other one was a portion and a half, and the other one was for a double portion. So the normal one was 32 lira, which is a good price for that, I think, in a nice restaurant. And the second one said a portion and a half, and it says you'll never be satisfied with 1 portion. Now, why will you never be satisfied with 1 portion? Because it's not enough. In a normal restaurant, 1 portion is plentiful. But in this one, they give you a tiny little portion. I think it said it's 80 grams, and the other one's like 120 grams for a portion and a half. And then the portion I ordered, it just wasn't enough, so I would never order that again. And to be honest, I'll never order that again from that restaurant because I didn't like the taste of it. But so when you start to go to a portion and a half, it starts to become a few lira more than the going rate of other restaurants. And plus, it didn't come with a salad as well. There was no starter menu or anything like that. So if I was to order a portion and a half, it would be quite expensive if it didn't come with a salad as well when you compare to another restaurant. So for that reason, I'm only going to give it a 4 out of 10. The scenery in Bursa Kebab is quite nice. You have mountains in the back, and there's lots of cars passing by though, and also it can be very noisy. If you're trying to speak to someone, it can be quite noisy. Like you have all car horns and cars racing past and all that. It's very close to the main road, so that's a bit of a problem. But for scenery, it is quite nice. And the man, the waiter, he said to me that upstairs is even nicer. And I said to him, look, can we go upstairs? He says, no, it's closed off for winter. And we're all like in t-shirts and stuff like that. And he said it's closed off for winter. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 for scenery because it is quite nice there. So all in all, Bursa Kebap Evi gets 29 points out of 50. I think it's a very nice restaurant. They have lots of facilities there, like for children, and the toilets are clean, and the table's comfortable, and the chairs are comfortable. The table doesn't rock or anything, doesn't upset you. And it's all new inside as well, but it's let down by the food. And there was no starter food either. There's no salad or anything like that to come with the food. So for that reason, it's only getting 29 points out of 50. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.